welcome to WOR PC Tier 3, and we return once again for round number 7 of the season. I am joined alongside by my good friend, the Hyperactive. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, pretty relaxed, chilled, and excited for what we have ahead of us as we are heading over to Austria to, I think a lot of people could agree, to be probably a lot of people's favorite track, purely because even though it's small, it hosts a lot of overtaking opportunity.
Yeah, I do agree with you there. I think it's an interesting one. Austria, I will say. It's always been very exciting. So let's have a quick look at the track map. As you can see, it is 4.318 kilometers, 2.683 miles, 10 turns, 3 DRS zones down the pit straight, down the second straight or main straight, and then down that back straight, of course, at the top of the hill. Looking at the calendar as well, we have gone through Las Vegas, Monza, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, I think Canada as well, and then, of course, Austria for this week.
Yeah, we've gone through quite a bit already, and we're getting to the point where statistics start to come into play. We're getting to the back end of this entire season with Austria, Bahrain, China, Brazil, and Silverstone as the last 5 to go. And thankfully, we're not in a position where we can sit here and say there is a clear leader, but the lead is starting to unfold as Enzo is currently leading with 67 points, and then Diaz with 50, and then not too behind is Jan with 45, and Boba with 44, and Neil Gelt with 42. So those top 5 still all have a great deal of potential to start essentially taking that lead or get closer to that number 1 spot. Of course, being 17 points ahead from Enzo is a huge buffer that he will be happy with. But the question is, how long can that buffer stay?
I do agree. I think Enzo, with that 17-point lead, I think he's got to go into this race kind of making sure he gets this right in Austria. We're reaching towards the final sort of 4 races of the season now. This is where it gets really crucial. And one thing I think we can both agree on with Austria, especially on this year's game, is that qualifying is more crucial than ever at this track. Simply just making overtakes doesn't work like it did on F1 24 or F1 23. It doesn't work the same. You can't just dive bomb down the inside into turn 3. You've got to really think about the strategy, your tyres. You've got to think about where are you starting. Because if you're starting 15th, 14th, 13th, it's anywhere sort of around there, the chaos is absolutely crazy through the first lap, of course. Those first 4 corners as well that make up basically half the track in just 4 corners. It's insane, the racing that you see. Everybody's side by side, dive bombs from everyone. So you're very much at risk. And qualifying is looking incredibly interesting. If my game will eventually load on the screen. I do apologize, everyone, for the black screen. There we go, finally. And as you can see, it is full-on wet rain. I think it's going to be full-on wets for this evening, but it could be intermediates. I'm not sure.
I can see it Inter from Enzo, of course. So we have, I say icy. Everyone can see that Enzo has currently got the Inter. Whether that's going to stay is very much the case of when the driver goes out, see how they feel about the weather. But I kind of want this weather to stay. I want it to go over into the actual race, because wet weather racing in sim racing is more unpredictable than traditional dry weather racing, because it comes to a matter of throttle skill and kind of your mechanical driving skill over the natural repetitive lap times that these guys are more used to. So that for me is what I want to see. So be prepared. We're going to see a lot of invalidations. We're probably going to see a few drivers also spin out, but at the same time, we're going to see a lot of long runs and multiple laps being set, because these tires can handle it.
And it is the intermediate tyres. I'm surprised that it's intermediates, because it looks like full wet conditions. Even on board, it looks like it's full wet conditions. But intermediate's a strange one that we see with this year. Well, big chunk of lag from Boba there. I've got to say, going into this track, it's an interesting one. As you see bits of lag picking up for Boba, but it's a very strange one going into this race because, of course, the track is so incredibly short that the one issue that you come across in the sort of race and in the qualifying is because it's so short, every little mistake costs you huge amounts of positions. I mean, last season, I know pole position was very close. Over pretty much every single season, it's been a few hundreds at most that have split the drivers. I know for instance, on last year's game, it was thousandths of a second that was splitting each and every driver. So the tiny mistakes really do matter when it comes down to the Red Bull Ring. But with that, let's ride on board with Boba. And you know what, Hyper, why don't you take us for the opening lap?
Well, it's not going to be a traditional lap where you used to be able to just drop a couple of gears. You actually have to drop a few more and really slow down amongst these corners. Something that where you drop down 2 gears and fling through in turn 1, drop down to 4th. And then it's just building the speed back up before braking earlier than you normally would. You actually hear a little bit of tailgating in a way, letting off the accelerator and allowing the aerodynamics to slow the car down, and Boba not controlling that throttle input all too well as he gets a bit of wheel spin on the exit. And then comes another heavy braking zone, locking up that right front and also drifting along with it. Again, being too pushy and being too aggressive will not help you here. You have to be smooth. It's not like having a small bit of understeer or a small bit of oversteer and you'll be fine. No, you've got to be smooth. But those next 2 corners into 6 and 7, okay, able to recover in the middle sector, but now comes the hard 9 and 10. This is where a lot of invalidations start to come through. The car just drifts to the outside, and then through 10, again, you become aggressive and greedy onto the exit curb, come across the line. We're normally in the 102s, but in the wet, it's a 113.5.
Not a bad lap, but, you know, we're going to have to, of course, wait and see, because if I'm being honest, I don't really know what the lap time, what lap times we should really be seeing here. Tristan Janssen invalidates. I think this is the thing. I think everybody's going to be just kind of wondering, sort of what is the lap times you should be looking for. And a lot of drivers are just finishing up their laps now. Enzo Sabaton, our championship leader, has just failed to set a lap with an invalidation. I think we've got Tom Wolfgram coming up to line though. He goes to a 1 minute 15, so he's very far behind the pace of Boba. So maybe differences in setups and maybe just not comfortable in these conditions. I think who's next across the line? That's going to be Dark Zaneas in a 1 minute 14. So you see, very mixed. I think a big chunk of it's going to come down to setups and stuff, especially with this, because it's all going to depend. Are they using, their wet weather setup? Are they using a dry weather setup? Are they using a race setup or a qualifying setup? This is where it really matters. As Claudio Diaz, fastest of all.
I want to elaborate on that because I've just for any of the viewers at home and who are a bit like, wait, what do you mean by what setup? Clearly, they're going to pick the setup for wet conditions. Well, qualifying may be wet, but we don't know if the race is going to be of the same condition as Tristan Janssen goes and puts it on pole of 113.1. So we've got to look ahead, and the drivers will know what the weather conditions will be for the race. They'll have a radar, much like we would in a normal F1 scene. So they're looking ahead. They will say, well, if it's going to be another wet, then I can put a lot more downforce on this car and be faster in qualifying. However, if it's going to be dry, you don't want to be putting a wet setup on your car right now, unless you are banking on getting on pole and trusting that your wet setup will hold enough during the straights. So that's kind of what these drivers are looking at when you were referring to setups.
Yeah, very much. I think again, it's a game, isn't it? It's kind of, it's not just a game in reality, but it's very much a game of strategy. Where do you want to do better? We mentioned about how qualifying so important as Boba finds another 9/10 in his lap time to go provisional fastest to a 1 minute 12. As I have noticed, the rain is getting much lighter than it was at the start of the session. But again, that's over 7 minutes. It's taking us nearly 7 minutes to reach this point. So maybe it will get dry. Probably not.
At this rate and how the game usually works, I think we may get a dry patch at the end, but it won't be dry enough to start runs on dries. I'd love to be proven wrong, and if I do get proven wrong, perfect, love it. Tell me I'm wrong. But right now, yeah, that rain is getting lighter. It is 100%. We're going to see these lap times slowly increase, and these fine margins we were talking about Austria are going to get thrown out the window because it will be unknown and kind of surprise people jumping to the top. But if you are one of the top 5, like Boba, you've got to be in the right place and right time.
Very much. I think he's finding his element out on track. It's always about getting into the flow, feeling right with the car, feeling the track under you, feeling that, you've got this. It's a mix. I always say it's a mix when it comes down to putting together a very strong lap. I think it's always, I think it's not only just a sort of mix of putting together sort of a strong lap. It's sort of, what do you think? Are you comfortable with how the car is? Tristan Janssen finds another 2/10 as he goes to provisional pole. 1 minute 12.4 on the dot is what he set. But as I was saying, I think part of it's, mentality. Do you feel like you've got this? As Bennett Hader goes P2. But the other side is also sort of, it's the feeling when you're driving, because all these drivers will be on wheel. They'll all be driving on wheel here. And it's feeling confident with yourself, but it's also the feeling that you get. Do you feel the track underneath you? Do you feel that the car is just going to follow the movement that you're going to make on the steering? Is it going to be comfortable with your braking and your throttle? That's kind of what sort of drivers look for. And that's the sort of confidence you need in wet conditions. As Jonas Orpel comes up to line and now sets fast by another 45 thousandths of a second.
Of course, I wanted a really loosely air quote feeling, because I know real drivers will turn around and go, what feeling? As Boba puts a 1:11.8 again, finding pace every lap he does, so it's getting faster. But yeah, I'm gonna air quote that feeling. Of course, what we mean by that is just how the force feedback steering wheel feels to you and how the car behaves to your natural inputs. So just want to clarify in case there are actual race drivers watching this and before they get offended and curse you out epic, because I get what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but I also know that some people could be really angsty about it. But let's talk about how this track is developing. If Boba is able to find half a second every time he does a push lap, we're really going to get to the points. We're going to get under that 1 minute 10 mark and get possibly, I might take back my words, we might see a point we could get some slick tires coming out if this rain does stop about the 5 minute mark.
I don't think it's going to, though. I think that's the one thing I'm really seeing right now, is it's probably not going to, because even though lap times are improving, they're still a way away from dry times. The slowest of dry times that I've seen when people have put on dry tires has been about 1 minute 4s, 1 minute 5s. Low 1 minute 5s is kind of the absolute earliest you can go onto dry tires when it's been wet. So we are currently, still in those 1 minute 11s. Until I'd say we reach maybe the 1 minute 8s is really going to be when we start to have more of a conversation about dry tires, because there's only 8 minutes to go and that's, coming down and down. So at the moment, the rain has it's gotten lighter again, but it's not gotten a lot lighter.
Can I point out, Oscar, who is in current 18th, on a lap right now, he's only just starting his first lap, which in my eyes is really smart, as Diaz is going to put his car a 10th fast, well, just shy of a 10th. Oh, take that back, scratch it, as Hada is going to then go even faster again. But Oscar is in this position. He now has fresh tires, and an upset could be made. He purples the middle sector. Okay, brand spanking new intermediate tires. Is he going to put this on pole? Because he has decided he's going to start his run now.
I don't think he will. No, he won't.
No, okay.
He won't.
I was big braining it way too far, but it was a decent strat idea.
It's a decent idea, but again, as his teammate Jans Fadilic goes to a 1 minute 11.1, finding another 0.4 of a second over everyone else out on track. But again, this is the thing. This is what we were talking about earlier. It's the mind games. It's the bit of strategy that you have. We said about from qualifying to the race, the strategy, what setups are you running, but sort of inside of it, there is strategy within qualifying, which I do believe a lot of people miss. Is kind of, when do you go for a lap? When do you sort of push? Do you go? How much fuel do you have? What do you do? And that's really important. And we've seen it before. We've seen it make or break qualifyings. We've seen some of the best drivers in Tier 3, even champions of Tier 3, just lose out on winning the championship, or their second, or even just their first. They've been leading the championship all the way because they've made a poor qualifying strategic decision, and it's just all fallen apart for them. So this is now, these last sort of few minutes where we've got a couple more drivers in the pit lane than we've had at pretty much any other points in this qualifying session. This is the point where they're now going to be sort of strategizing what do they want to do for these final runs.
Yeah, and I just want to build on that even further, because in dry weather qualifying, that strategy is more understandable. Fuel your car to the lightest as possible, and then it's a game of, when do I go out? Do I want to be the first one out for cleaner track, or do I want to be the last one out, risk the traffic, but have better track evolution? But when it comes to wet, because you've got multiple runs on the same set of tires, and you don't pit, it is a case of, how much do I fuel that car for? When do I make my ultimate push lap as we finally dip into the 110s from Diaz? And when do I go in for a quick refill? Do I change my tires and risk running both of my allocated intermediates? Because you only have 2 winters on the game and 2 wets. So do I risk running that? So that's the questions.
We say about that, as Boba doesn't, every single time he's done a run, he's improved and been quickest, right? He's failed to do that. He's only found 0.3 in his previous lap, as Ivan Santamaria goes to a 10.8, and he only improved by 0.3 of a second. So
I was waiting for when Ivan would come in.
Yeah,
took him long enough.
I was waiting. I feel like, where have you been? Where have you been? Come on. But yeah, Boba, I was thinking this a few minutes ago, and I was gonna mention something, but I forgot about it. It was very much Boba's to lose from the start of qualifying, wasn't it? Constantly quickest, constantly putting himself first, very far ahead of the grid. He was shaping the curve of the pace for the grid. But now in his latest run, he's kind of fallen back a bit. And if you look at the fuel, he's out of fuel and he's having to go back in. So that was him on minimum fuel for that one run, and he wasn't able to find the time that everyone else found.
This is the question: do you change tires? Because we don't know, as casters, as viewers at home, we can't actually see the forecast. I don't have that analytical side tool that some of the casters do have, and of which, for those who do, can you please share it? Like, I would love to have it. But that information is still unknown. So we might see a lot of drivers actually opt to take the inters for 1 or 2 laps. They will still be fresh enough for the race. They will still last a good run if it is wet at the start. So they will still have some viability. That's a mindset that I might be put in this situation, particularly if you're 10th and below. Take that risk and see what comes from it.
Bennett Hayder, by the way, up by half a second in his middle sector. This is, of course, I think going to be his last run as well, but he actually might have one more in after this. He's got 2 laps of fuel. So he crosses the line and goes provisional pole. 1 minute 10.6, new time to beat, but he needed a lot of lap time to actually pull that off. So it's just about recreating that again, but going even faster. Looking around, who's next to cross the line? It's going to be Jonas Orpel, who isn't going quickly. He's going quite slowly at the moment. So he's going to have another run as he's got 4 laps of fuel. He's overfueled quite a bit. for these final few laps.
It means he can push for every single time he goes around the track as well and burn it. And then if need be, you just overextend gears, and then that burns fuel as well. So there are ways to do it. As you can see, a few drivers really try to they're literally pedal to the metal, high gears. Yes, it loses them control, but it's burning the fuel down.
And look at the traffic. Look at this traffic in the middle sector. This is insane. Look at there's sort of 6, 7 cars, maybe 8 cars, just all in this little section of the track. Everybody's on outlaps.
I feel there's going to be a problem, and someone's going to run into somebody, or we're going to get somebody throwing arms in the chat going, "You got in my way." Because we can see the Ferrari, they're pushing onto turn 2, turn 3.
He's coming up to that now. Let's ride on board. I just wanted to point that out quickly. Where's Jonas Orpel gone? There he is. And the game doesn't want to let me see him. But look at this. Look at the final sector. Can he make it through without a problem?
This is going to be nip and tuck. It's going to be dangerous. First driver stays to the side.
Whoa!
Oh, no! Oh.
Oh my god, look at this! Oh, and in the back!
This is literally the worst nightmare we said was going to happen.
Yeah,
we said this all along.
I don't even know what to say anymore. Oliver Knott is coming up to the line next. That is qualifying over. We've already got 2 drivers out, Tumas Lammin and Jonas Orpel. Now we've got Oliver Knott up to the line. He's going to cross the line. He goes fastest of all to a 10.5. Who's next? It is going to be Enzo Sebastian, our championship leader, who's been very quiet all qualifying long. He goes P5 into an 11.1, but he's quite far behind the pace of the rest of the grid. Then we've got Dartas Anes coming up to the line next. He's coming through the final corner now. You've got to make sure you get this final corner all right. And he does it quite well. And up to the line, he goes P3. And that's the position he needs. Onto the second row of the grid, Tristan Janssen. He proved he had some pace earlier on in qualifying, but it's been laying low for a little while. And now Tristan Janssen, fastest of all. We've got tons of drivers crossing the line. Tom Wolfgram, we've just seen Lucas. And there goes, I think that's Boba, who's failed to take pole position here this evening. Neil Zhu goes into P16. There's just everybody's jumping back. Claudio Diaz! First of all, Jans van Dijk! He takes pole at the final second, the final moment. And that is your pole sitter, Jan Svrdilic.
What? Well, he's the one with a 5-second time penalty, 5-position grid drop.
But
he will not hold it.
No, he
will not hold it. So it will be Diaz. Diaz will take pole.
Hang on. Is there going to be a restart? We're going to wait. We're going to wait and see whether there might be. Jans Svrdilic is on pole, followed by Claudio Diaz, Tristan Janssen, Oliver Knott, Bennett Hayder, Boba, Dartas Anes, Ryan Grob, Ivan Santamaria, Tom Wolfgram, Kevin, Lucas, Enzo Sebastian, Oscar Villacampa, Jonas Orpel, George Ansel, Neachju, and Tumas Hlamminen. I'm not sure. Are we going to be having a restart? I don't think we are. I haven't seen anything for it. I haven't seen... I'm not sure. I am just waiting to see right now. So don't mind the silence from either me or Hyper. But yeah, we're just waiting to see. No rain. No need to restart. Very interesting. Hyper.
Yeah, the thing is, in this situation, I'd have to go read I need to read the rule book again, but the 5-place grid penalty has been automatically given within the game, which is a fair representation. And yes, it doesn't put it behind the driver. Yeah, and even the league organizer is agreeing with the statement because the game has recognized the problem. Even though if someone impedes in-game during qualifying, it is given afterwards, which is a qualifying ban.
Although, I will say, can I just say, to some degree, it's a tough one. if you were to take this to Stewards, it is a difficult one because of one reason, and that is because of how much traffic there was. At that point, I will say, as a driver, from doing league racing for sort of 4 or 5 years now, I will say on the game, it's... Oh, and we are going. It is 2, 3, 4, fire lights. And away we go here in WRPC Tier 3 for round number 7. And it's a good getaway from the pole sitter, Claudio Diaz, who takes the lead out of turn 1 and he holds on to the lead of the race. But you can see further behind, Oliver Knott is battling with Tristan Janssen for position. Is Tristan Janssen going to send it up the inside?
Tom Wolfgram's out.
And he's going round.
Wolfgram is...
Whoa!
Sorry to jump in there. Tom Wolfgram has crashed out. He has lost so many positions.
And Bennett Hayder, by the way, he's also pushing his way up through the grid. Oh! A massive swipe to the left from the Alpine driver. Look at this. Everybody's just flying through the corners like they've got nothing to lose. And there we go. Boba's made his way up the grid. Tristan Janssen's down. Bennett Hayder is also battling with quite a few people. Side by side between Jans Fredillik and Dark Zaneas, as Jans Fredillik now finds his way back up into P6 as he defends for his position off of that race start. Everybody's incredibly close. Have we got some side-by-side action going on into the final couple of corners? I think we do. That looked like that was Kevin going for a move, but it looks like he's backed out there.
Yeah, a very, very chaotic start. The only person losing out was Tom Wolfgram. Unfortunately, just caught up in that rear pack shenanigans. Not much you can do except for now run your own race and hope for a safety car. No, he's just retiring. He called it quits. No surprise there. So we are down to 17 as still all the drivers wanting these early positions to come from them. Who's that driving slow? Someone's driving extremely slow. That was Jonas Orpel is going backwards. What's happening with Jonas?
Also, I think it was the Mercedes as well further back, is now Ryan Grobs having a battle with Jans Fredillik. Jans Fredillik trying to hold on to his places, but he's really struggling to be able to hold on to his position for the moment. Really struggling out there. As further back, we see Darts and AS. Nice side-by-side battling between himself and Ivan Santamaria, but Ivan Santamaria holds on to P8 for now. But I've got to say, we've got to think about one thing, and that's Boba in the championship. He's third in this race, and our championship leader, Enzo Sabatin's 10th.
I tell you what, that was brave from Dark Zanera. That was brave and bold, and just like that, Dark will drop down, and our championship leader, Enzo, will take position, capitalize on the aggression that the Williams driver has been putting forward. But right now, I'm loving this. There's a lot of overtaking as we see Ivan Santamaria go down the inside of Jan, and that 5th-place grid penalty has triggered him because he is dropping like a fly. He started 5th, or started 6th. He's now down to 8th as he gets forced a little wide, not too much to be a penalty, and the Red Bull is through.
I've got to say, a good race going on from Ivan Santamaria so far. He's left a good amount of space, and he's kept out of all the chaos, hasn't he? He's been very quiet through all of this chaos. He's just been able to gain a place here and there, hold on to places as well. Good defending from himself against Darts Aeneas as well. Just want to say, Darts Aeneas also had some damage, by the way. He's got some front wing end plate damage on the right-hand side, and so I think that's why he's been dropping backwards in the grid. I think that's also why he didn't race Ivan Santamaria too hard there. He didn't really push him because he wasn't really able to. But I've got to say, so far, Claudio Diaz, the man from Pole, he's had a really good start, and nobody's really gone for him yet. But look at this, Tristan Janssen having a battle with Bennett Hayder over P4 here. Bennett Hayder are really trying to find some places, but Ryan Grob is the one who's also attacking back, heading down towards turn 4 now, both with the DRS. Heading into the tight right-hander, down the inside goes Ryan Grob, but unable to make the move just yet. He's got the inside line all throughout this long right-hander, but still Bennett Hayder was there, and now Ryan Grob up into P5 in this race. And I've got to say, it's been a really strong start from the Williams driver.
I was biting my hand due to how close. If I'm team principal or team manager or race engineer, I am going to be on the radio to this guy going, dude, good move, but too close for my liking. I'm
very
sweating
aggressive.
buckets.
It was very aggressive there from Ryan Grob. I've got to say, it was strange to see because we haven't really seen that this season from him, have we? We haven't really seen really big or aggressive moves. He's usually, and I say this with some pain, as he is a lovely friend of mine. But I say it with some pain. We've usually watched him going backwards to the grid a bit more often than we've seen him go forwards. As Ivan Santamaria battling once again with Jans Fredilic. Jans Fredilic looked for a move, but he had as much chance as I do to reach F1 Esports.
Yeah, fact. I'm not defending you on that fact. I've raced against you, and I know you're terrible. And I've beaten you in a race.
When?
Oh, ages ago.
Where?
Like 2022. Like F1 21-22.
No.
Have we not?
No.
It's probably one of my other codes.
We've never raced.
Have we not?
No.
We need to do that, and even with a good 3 years out of the game, I will still defeat you in racing.
To be fair, I haven't driven this game properly in like 2 years, so...
Yeah, I'm 3 years out, so that says everything. Nonetheless, back to the race at hand. Oliver Knott, not really doing anything. He is playing conservative, playing his game. He's pushing at the right times to keep Boba off his rear end. He's pushing at the right times to make sure he stays close to Diaz. He's got this nice balance in second place that really lines up for that pit stop phase, which will come lap 16 to 18 region, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe a bit later, but around that area is when we should see them come in. He's prime. He's gonna wait for that part of time and then take advantage, because if other drivers in the mid pack can really overtake here, then that says everything that the likes of Oliver Knott could, if you want to, send one down the inside into 3, 4, or even be cheeky into 1, and would get the job done and dusted.
Problem is, I do just want to point out something. Oliver Knott is having a bit of a problem, because if you look through the middle sector, the late half, the sort of second half of the middle sector, and the third sector, he's struggling to keep up with Claudio Diaz. So definitely Dirty Air playing a bit of an effect here. But of course, you say about sort of sending it up the inside, but the problem is, his tyres are going to be overheating slightly and struggling with extra degradation because of that dirty air. So, will he have the tyres to actually make that move?
Yeah, he will. Because he's using that middle sector as the farming regen part of his track. You can see he gets a lot closer on the first and the end of third to gain a lot. So actually, sector 2 is probably a poor term. From 4 to 9, turns 4 to 9, he uses that time to charge. So look, he's not necessarily pushing. He's losing time. Dirty air will not help, as well as Jonas Orpel. This day is going from bad to worse, as George Ansel now is putting pressure onto him, and after being shunted in the rear end and essentially DNF'd from qualifying, at this point, his confidence is shattered. This is not the Jonas Orpel we've seen before.
Yeah, I think, you say he's gone from bad to worse. It's gone from bad to worse to back of the grid. That's how it very much feels like it's going for the RB driver. But nothing could be as... Whoa, actually, we've got Enzo Sabaton, by the way, making a move on Ivan Santamaria. And up to P7 he goes. He's still battling with the Red Bull, but he's made that move very nicely. And he's actually been quite aggressive there. Look at this. Kevin, Tedai, and Darts and Aeus having a bit of a battle. The hard tyres starting to come alive with that switchback. One of the best I think we've seen all season. But we say about tyres. I said about tyres, and everybody's on mediums except hard tyres for Kevin and softs for Tuma Slammer, and also hard tyres for George Ansel and Nail Zhu. And we've got a couple of more drivers coming in, actually. I'm not sure who that was. We do have Tuma Slammer on his way in. Of course, he's gone on those soft tyres, so he's gone for the rather...
Are they two-stopping?
Would be sure. Oh, he's just being rear-ended from Jonas Orpel as George Ansel retires.
Well, I appreciate, Jonas, about the grief you have, but that was the wrong person who did it to you. That person is currently in 8th, and he's having a bad race himself.
I don't want to see him on another game. I don't want to see him on a first-person shooter game if that's his aim. You know, it's gone a bit wrong.
At least he's accurate. At least he can hit the right thing, unlike my aim, which is left, right, and center, and everything else in between. Nonetheless, this two-stop strategy idea is going to change everything. We've already got a great race of overtaking so far, and I tell you what, for the first time in my F1 esports commentary career, I am genuinely excited because there is going to be so much overtaking in this race.
I do agree.
I'm forecasting it.
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree with that. And yeah, about your aim, let's be real. You'd hit the neighbor's cat before you'd actually hit the right person.
This is why I don't do it competitively, and I only talk about it. If you can't play the game, you become a commentator. Hence why I'm sat here. Anyways,
I agree.
Oliver not showing a little bit of pace. He is starting to creep up a bit more on Diaz. He is slowly applying pressure because if there is going to be a two-stop from the current race leader, it's now or never for the Ferrari driver to make the move. So realistically, his mindset is forward and forward only as he is so close. Is this a brave move down into turn 6? No. I would love to see it, but it ain't gonna happen, Chief.
I think it's now it's very much who stops when, and that's why everybody's keeping close, is because it's now just strategy. Keep as close as you can. It's no longer about saving tires. It's no longer about saving ERS or things like that. It's now about pushing till you reach your time to stop, or pushing until the race leader stops. That's essentially what it is.
Yeah. It's very much that case because the race leader does dictate a lot of the pace, and we've seen from the races in Spain, the races in actually let's just list them all. As down the inside, we are going to see Boba launch one unsuccessfully. Has to now do a drag race onto the DRS straight from 3 to 4 as he is behind. It may be a late braking move from Boba, but he's got to commit it.
Safety
Full
car!
course yellow. Full course yellow. He can't make the move. It is a full safety car as well. Jan is out in P11 and Karma is a bitch. Sorry for the language, but it's the only word to say. And Yaz Orpal will see him drop past.
Claudio Diaz! Speeding under safety car!
Oh my god. Oh, he's caused a glitch as well. Oh no, he's messed up because he's now stuck in a position. The game has caught him out because Oliver Knott was able to get past him for a brief bit. He can't serve the drive-through penalty now. He will have to serve it when it is all green. That has ruined Diaz's race. Absolutely cooked.
But now, from that, do we think it is just between very much Boba and Oliver Knott?
Well, there's still a few drivers still in question here because the people who've already pitted already, they're going to lose out massively. Though I say that, Tumas Laminen, he's going to gain a lot actually because he was able to catch up after a bit of his pit stop and he's going to jump all the way into 3rd. I will take my words back. Jonas Orpal's back in this game, 5th place. Karma is a true thing. I'm putting that in the chat. And maybe not. Jan has literally just said, nice one. That's all he said regarding
I
it.
suspect that's because he might have just had a bit of a collision or something. I very much suspect that.
I don't know. I'll get the details for you.
Yeah. I want an interview during the race with Jan.
No, oh no, I think there might be some F's and C's and all the naughty words we're not allowed to say.
Let's try. No.
No, Epic.
No.
Do not want to get in
No.
trouble by Luke. I might get in trouble by Luke by saying the B word, but hey, it was warranted.
I'm going to report that to Luke, that you said that. I
All
like
right,
to
you
stick to the
child.
rules. Nah, stick to the FIA guidelines. They made notes for this. Luke made
That's-
notes.
Fine me 10,000 and be done with it.
10,000 yen.
That's really cheap, actually.
Yeah.
10,000 yen to British pounds.
That's the point.
£48. Screw you. I don't have that money.
Leave the street. But yeah, essentially now for Claudio Diaz, he has to wait until after the safety car to stop, which means he'll be last. He'll be last at nowhere, and I'm actually kind of feeling a bit depressed from what's just happened to him. Like, that is so incredibly unlucky that unlucky isn't even the correct word for it. It's just like it's in like another realm of bad luck. You know, that there should just be a word for it, just specifically for that. But safety car is in this lap, and it is up to Claudio Diaz. Does he want to get in the way of everyone else? Does he want to brake check like Valtteri Bottas in Mugello? Or does he want to lead away the grid properly? We'll wait and see. Claudio Diaz, of course, he can choose whenever he wants to go. Let's just hope he doesn't do a Valtteri Bottas.
Let's hope he doesn't. 3 laps he has to serve his drive-through penalty before the black flag is waved and he is disqualified. So he still has time to formate a little bit of a gap. But let's be real, it's F1 esports, so those gaps don't exist. And he is leaving this pretty standard. There's the punch. There's the go, go, go. Claudio Diaz on his way. He has to go across the start-finish line here. And from now, the clock has started. Well, I say the clock. The 3 laps will start before he has to serve that drive-through penalty. And if you're Oliver Knott, all you have to do is stick close and not do too much. A prime position for the Ferrari driver.
Very much. I do agree with you there. One driver who's had a really bad pit stop is Bennett Hader, down in 14th. He's had a really bad stop in all of this.
I think he pit before Tristan Janssen getting past Jonas Orpel. I think he pitted before.
No, he didn't. He pitted the same as everyone else.
Oh, that is a terrible pit stop then.
I think it's because of his teammate. Whoa, and down inside goes Neo Zhu on the soft tyres. So Neo Zhu doing something interesting tonight.
Torpedo incoming. Wow, Diaz putting a 2-second gap. So Oliver Knott does exactly as he said. He is very much controlling his pace. He knows that he doesn't have to pull away. And this also goes to show my little pet peeve of F1 esports, right? This is the BS we have to deal with because there is so much more pace from these guys. They're not actually doing it. So, and it annoys me so much to watch it.
Now, you say that, if it was me driving, I would actually applaud you for saying that, since you'd know I'd be pushing all out to reach this
because
pace.
you don't have the pace.
Yeah,
You don't have the pace,
exactly.
unlike these guys.
My one time I do have pace is when I don't need it when I'm last.
The day you get pole or the day you win, I want you to message me with the stream and everything, and I will actually
wins.
Congratulate you.
I have wins.
BS.
I have a podium in WOR. I have a podium. No,
This
I
is
have
great for Kevin, though.
Bahrain.
I'm gonna cut you off.
console tier 3.
Kevin going round the outside, absolutely beautiful from the Ferrari. Back to your Bahrain thing.
Yeah,
You just got a podium in Bahrain. Cool.
yeah. Like
Best I got-
4 years ago. Like, long time ago.
Yeah, best I got P7 in Spa. At least I'm an honest man.
What tier?
Nonetheless,
I want to know.
6th or 7. I was playing with only
Why
line
did you
only,
have to
so-
say that?
But anyway, we look towards the
Please.
front as Oliver Knott is under threat by Tumas Laminen, and this is a very, very aggressive strike from Laminen to go early. Make sure he gets control of the race. He goes down onto the inside, says, "Thank you very much, dear sir." The Aston Martin will take the lead, and all those bad words I said about Tumas Laminen in the previous part of this season are still getting turned on its head. Tumas Laminen could potentially, if I am not mistaken, in this league, could get his second race win. He won in Saudi Arabia, was out of the points in Mexico, and then during Australia only found himself 8th. There is a chance for another win here.
I will say, Tumas Laminen's like consistency needs to be studied for how inconsistent he is. Like, I've never seen a driver be so up and down the field. He is going to be the Fernando Alonso of Tier 3, where one week he's really good and the next week he's last.
Well, he's in the right car for it.
Yeah, he is. But you know what? All love to Tumas Laminen. We all love him. The Tier 3 GOAT.
If ever you wanna like chat to anybody, Tumas Laminen is your guy.
Tumas Laminen has, I'm forever going to say, the best line against Luke I've ever seen, and I'm never going to forget that. He's the man who can stand up to Luke.
We love you, Luke. We love you, Luke. We're not talking bad, but
no.
We're talking about Tumas Laminen. But
Yeah.
talking of Tumas Laminen, he is putting in booms. He is going for it 0.8 of a second ahead. He is going faster than Oliver Knott was. He was going faster than Diaz was. He is making sure that he is controlling the pace the way he wants to. And I love this. I respect this. And it also begs the question, is Laminen maybe potentially still on a 2-stop strategy here?
I think everyone is, if I'm being honest, because, you know, they've already been on these tyres for 4 or 5 laps now. You know, so...
Under the safety car, though.
Yeah, but still, even then, it's still about 1 to 2% tyre wear per lap. It's still quite heavy. But I do think some people might try to stretch it out, but I think we'll see a couple of soft tyre runners at the end and a few medium tyre runners. So I think, yeah.
It will become a coin flip, and I think that's the joy of this race right now, is it will be a case of unknown as Ivan Santamaria jumps up into 10th to get him past Neil in 11th. But yeah, it will be that coin flip where we don't know which strategy worked, because if you're at the front, that one stop may be more viable because you have track position. There's going to be many drivers behind you who are going to need to pit, and if there is, for whatever reason, another safety car, bam, you can go and happily change your tires and not lose out too much and be on that fresher set. So there is a lot of...
Look at this under attack!
Oh my god, I thought there was going to be a collision there.
There was! Boba went into the back of Tumas Laminen.
Oh, damn.
That's why Laminen went deep there. Did you see?
And regress?
And
Straight
down
down
the
to the
inside! Oh, contact!
The elbows are out. Absolutely everything thrown onto the table as Boba was under threat from Ryan Grubb, as Ryan Grubb was trying to pick up any of the fragment pieces, not the carbon fiber, but the physical pieces of the track to find a move. However, Tumas Laminen maintaining a close distance to that Ferrari, and I almost guarantee you turn 3 is the next of the overtaking zones that he will pounce as he opens that DRS flap. May that DRS flap rest in peace in real life. There's also Ryan Grubb down the inside into turn 1. We don't see many overtakes into turn 1. He will get a second dose of DRS as well, as now the top 5 are slowly encroaching onto the heavy braking zone, onto turn 3 down the inside. Tumas Laminen goes, bumps wheels with the Ferrari.
3 wide!
And down the inside, Ryan Grubb is trying to make a move with 3 abreast onto the straight from 3 to 4. Ryan Grubb looks to the inside, says no thank you, maybe a little too aggressive, but I will take the switch back. Oliver Knott has not lost 1, he's lost 2, but Ryan Grubb still sticking with it. Round the outside of 6, he is pushing that Williams to its absolute braking limit, and from 4th to 1st within 1 lap, Ryan Grubb takes the lead of the race on lap 20.
Yeah, and Tristan Janssen as well having a bit of a battle with Boba for position. So Boba looks like he's struggling on these hard tires more than anyone else. But I've got to say, Ryan Grob, what is he doing in that Williams? He is pulling out a Carlos Sainz right now.
Clip that, chat. Clip it. There's no one in the chat, but clip it. That was a beautiful move from Ryan Grob. Commitment all the way, but patience where it truly needed. Not over-aggressing too early. He knew that the top three were fighting way too much. He was keeping an eye of Tristan Janssen, making sure there was no attacks from him. And when he saw there wasn't, find the gap, go for it. And to finish the move at the end of 7, that's just unheard of.
And look at this, again, another bit of a battle going on between Tristan Janssen, if I can actually find a good camera. And Tristan Janssen, he's trying to go round the outside of Boba. He's still threading it through turn 8. And there he goes! With a ballsy move! Up to P4 he goes and chasing the podium places.
I tell you what, today I move Austria from the top 5 to the top 2. It is currently second amongst my favorite races, and this is number 1, my favorite race. And we're only on lap 22 of 36. We've got a hell of a lot more racing to come. I told you this is going to be interesting. And we haven't even discussed more on the strategy aspect, because we're still predicting there is potential of 2-stoppers in amongst this field, let alone the ones who want to go long. So much is unfolding. Jonas Orpel, I feel the mindset is absolutely got us. Who's that in the background? Eva Santa Maria gets nearly Mazepined off the track from Kevin, and in doing so has to go extremely wide, but still makes the move. It's action left, right, and center, and boy, I'm drinking to this.
And you can see again, look at this. Oscar Villacampa is trying to do everything he can to get past Jonas Orpel now. He is really doing anything he can to get past this RB4 position. But I've got to say, look at Enzo Sabaton, the championship leader. Last time we looked at him, he was P10. He's just having the most quiet but great race, I think, at the moment. He's kept out of trouble all race. He's not had to make any overtakes or do anything, really. He's just sat in his position, and he's just making up positions without doing anything.
He's been very methodical of which overtakes he went for. They've got to be clean. They've got to be easy. He's not overthinking, and he's making sure he's putting in a decent pace that keeps him close to fights. He's not overexerting as well for his tire life. So this is great work from Enzo. And now he's on the back of Boba, and Boba is clearly starting to show a little bit of wear and tear as he's lost positions to Oliver Knott and Tristan Janssen as well. So Boba's in this kind of vulnerable position, and I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see a second gap break, maybe from Boba. Realistically, though, Jonas Orpel, he too is on the fringe of that second gap, which then makes it so much harder to chase to the front runners.
And somebody's coming in anyway. That is Kevin, who's come into the pits, and he is going for that 2-stop.
Interesting.
To another set of mediums as well.
Why
Usual
not?
Ferrari pit stop, quite slow, but...
Actually, no. Ferrari won the DHL Fastest Pit Stop Award. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
They won
once every 300 years.
Yeah, they won. They won the only thing they actually won, but and the sprint race. For anyone says
side by side with Ryan Grob. We thought Ryan Grob was doing quite well. All of a sudden, Tumas Laminin brings him back down to earth.
Ain't gonna say no to that, Chief. Laminin saw an easy opportunity. You gotta take it and go for it. And right now, because they've just seen somebody who has pitted, this is gonna spark up that do I pit, do I not? And it is gonna be a pit from Ryan Grob. Yes, it is. Ryan Grob's going for it. He's committing to the 2-stop strategy. This is gonna cause a little bit of turmoil and a little bit of confusion. Does the front runners follow suit on the next lap? Because now the undercut is all within into Ryan Grob's favor. He now dictates what happens next as Oliver Knott now looks to the outside, says thank you very much. Easy overtake before the braking zone even comes through. And this might be a sign that Tumas Laminen will follow suit and join with the two-stop strategy.
Very much. I think this is now going to be an important phase. Who does what? Because do I believe that Ryan Grob will catch that 16, 17, sort of nearly 20-second gap? Maybe. Possible.
I think with fresh set of rubbers, 10 laps to go. Well, 12 laps to go.
That's a lot. That's a lot of time. Sort of 1.6 seconds a lap he's gonna have to find.
Exactly, and those medium tires should last. You said it's about 1% per lap at
That's on
your
the hards.
pushing pace. Oh,
That's on
okay,
the
maybe
hards.
a bit more. Maybe
the
a bit
mediums
more.
are about 3 to 4% there. Mediums are quite bad at the moment on this year's game, and
It's a
Horpel.
coin toss.
10-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane.
That's usually a 9 times out of 10 he's going to retire in the pit lane or something along those lines. But none of the front runners following suit. Ryan Grob is risking here. He gets the first overtake
contact
done
between
and
Tristan Janssen.
dusted. That is going to be tight. It's all close. Boba able to gain a position. We thought he was falling backwards, but no, Tristan Janssen got caught off guard. And down the inside, our race leader, Tumas Laminen, bumps wheels. The steward's room's going to be busy tonight. And down the inside, once again, a similarity. Have we seen this before? As Boba looks to go around the outside. Is it done moving to turn 7? Commit. He has to. But Oliver not making it easy. Has to leave room. No, we can see
Tumas
him all the way
Laminen!
to turn 9. He has to keep going. But a time penalty for Tumas Laminen will destroy his race.
I have no words. I don't know what to say. The one moment that he had, you know, where it was really about getting that sort of switch back, he messed it all up and went wide.
Ryan Grob 105 sixes. He is flying. Boba finishing off the work that was done. If you don't kill him once, you do it the second time and put 2 bullets in and get it done and dusted. That's what he's looking to do. But Oliver Knott is not allowing any inch of easy moves coming in. He's still committing round the outside. He will lose to the inside line and has to chuck him behind. And it's definitely a commitment. The top 10 have committed to the one-stop strategy, and Ryan Grob might have thrown his race here if he doesn't pick off every driver per lap.
Yeah,
Actually,
I mean,
he would struggle to do it per lap.
10 laps remaining, by the way, and that's about to come down to 9. Just 9 laps, 9 full laps of the race remaining. And if we just bring it up quickly, look at the leader. He's still 9.2 seconds behind the race leader without DRS.
But he is taking 2 seconds a lap.
But it's the
In the
overtaking
fresh air.
that's the problem. Because remember, also, you've got to take into account, those mediums are going to be going off at the same time.
I think he was expecting more people to come in. And I think he's just thrown it here. A strategy call that might have gone against him. I like to be proven wrong, and I always say that. The front runners, all within a second of each other, all the way down to P5, as we start to see Diaz making a brilliant recovery drive from a drive-through penalty that a bit hit and miss, whether that was deserved or not. Finds himself back into the points of 8th. And he's slowly making his way through the grid.
On the comeback here tonight, very much from Claudio Diaz, but still that penalty is going to haunt him. Not just the drive-through penalty, but also the penalty he's currently got is going to haunt him, as he's going to drop down to P10 anyway, depending on how quickly Ryan Grob catches. But on the last lap, I've just noticed Ryan Grob. We said 7.2, didn't we? And
Yeah, he's 2 seconds a lap.
it was 1.3 on the last. So he's actually taken out less time as Tumas Laminen and Oliver Knott get to battling a bit more. We thought Tumas Laminen was out of it. Now it's Tumas Laminen versus Tristan Janssen. We've got battling all over the track at the moment. Is Tristan Janssen going to go send it? No, he's not. He's going to stay behind. Whoa, and that's Oscar Villacampa going into the back of Enzo Sabaton there. But this battling is just helping Ryan Grob. This is what Ryan Grob would want, is all of this battling.
Yeah, he's going to eat it up. He knows that the more these guys fight, the easier it will be to catch up. But as great legends say, it's all well and good catching up, but it's all about overtaking afterwards.
Yeah,
Probably
this is
not
the problem.
exactly the word by words,
Yeah,
but
but this is the problem. It's going to be the overtaking part, the DRS train part that's going to be the tough part. With all the other battling going on, moves won't be too easy.
he will start to get a bit of slipstream here as he slowly, will he be enough in, you'll get DRS at this rate. Yeah, he'll get DRS onto 3 and 4 because the detection zone is in the braking zone of turn 3. So now, let's start and watch it unfold as we start to see Ryan Grob see what he can do. Enzo and Sabatin able to get past Tristan Janssen as his little quiet race from himself has unfolded to be a beautiful one as he has to late break down the inside as that's nearly a pit maneuver. Tristan Janssen turning in and closing the door, but the door wasn't there to be closed. A little tap of the wheel to say, hey, I am still here. Don't push me off the track for the second time. As round the outside, he will have to go through 7 and then up through 8. Tristan Janssen has to concede and say, fine, it's all yours. Ryan Grob, side by side right now, possibly? No, has to concede his position with Bennett Hatter as he's 2 is slowly making his way up. He's definitely got the move into turn 1, and once he picks off 1, he'll have another great toe of Lucas SL straight afterwards, but he's not going to commit just yet. He wants that heavy braking zone to take full advantage as the DRS opens up, and down the straight he goes. Inside or outside of the question mark he goes to the inside of the corner, late breaks into the turn. Thank you very much, he says, as he will now go for the second car, which is the Mercedes-Benz in front of him.
Yeah, I've got to say, it's still not the progress he would have wanted to make. And look, Rain! Rain! Front wing damage! Somebody's front wing has gone somewhere! That's Tristan Janssen!
That's a huge end plate that's gone, and it's all backed up. It's going to cause a lot of chaos amongst this whole area as the Alpine will get past. Oscar is able to take advantage, jump up into 4th, as that front wing will massively impact Tristan Janssen's probability of getting to the end with good points.
It's Rain.
Around the outside, we just saw Ryan Grob try to get another move done. He's down and up into 9th at the moment. He is slowly picking and threading his way through the grid. And we see into the pits, he's committing to the intermediates. He's worried that it's going to be a bit too much because as soon as that DRS sign goes, they're going to have to pit. Are you willing to risk it? That is the question we have to ask ourselves.
Look at how dark it's getting. Look at how dark it's getting, and look at how the rain is starting to increase. And even you can see from Boba's POV, you can see the track is starting to get a bit damp already.
This is crazy. When's the right time to pit? When do you commit to it? Bennett Hatter going offline, giving himself a 3-second time penalty, not going to help at all. And they're coming down to a trickle in pace. They're slowing down so much. Ryan Grob, though, still committing.
Even he's slowing down.
And warmer tyres.
But even he's slowing down. Look at that, 3 seconds off the pace already. It's time. It's Inters.
A lot of them are going to come in. Who's willing to take that risk for track position? Ryan Grob is staying out. So is Enzo as well.
But look at the rain. Look at this end of lap. Look at the end of the lap. 1 minute 11.9, 6.2 seconds off the pace. They're still going, yet they're 6 seconds off.
6 seconds off. 2 laps are 6 seconds off the pace. That's 12 seconds. You need another lap to then lose it all as Ryan Grob is still in this current situation, still fighting for the win here. Neil Gout not too far away. We need to pull up the tires. Epic, put up the tires. I need to know who's on what. So, top 5 are staying on the hards. They're committing to going to the end. Tumas Laminen was the first one to quickly make that decision and quickly switch it over to the
time.
Inters.
2 tenths, 4 tenths in one corner.
It's massively coming down, but it's all well and good with this pace, but is it quick enough? Boba able to get past Tumas Laminen. Contact between the Aston Martin and the Ferrari as they go side by side amongst each other. So there's still a squabble amongst the provisional loosely.
Oh!
3 on the inters as they go wide. It is down to a finite of a hairpin at this point.
Look at how much Boba's caught. He's just found 3 seconds in a single set of corners. Look at this, 4 seconds. Ryan Grob's in! Ryan Grob's come in. He's felt like it is done, but I think it's too late. He's just dropped about 7 seconds on this one lap.
Enzo's committing. Enzo's committing to the end. He now knows he's messed up. He's either got to do or die in this situation and say his prayers. Jonas Orpel has nothing to lose. Got screwed over, hit amongst the rear end. Well, he crashed into Jan during qualifying.
And there goes Jonas Orpel off.
So there's nothing for Jonas to do except for watch everything unfold. But Boba has done it all right, fighting throughout. He is now 1 car away from being the leader of the race for the first time.
It all fell apart for Ryan Grob. He's down in 8th. It's all fallen apart. And there goes Boba into the lead with an easy move. And the championship leader might actually be in a lot of trouble now. Whoa!
He's lost his
Big
front wing.
damage. No, it's
Tumas
Tumas.
went too aggressive. Well, I don't think he realized that the Alpine was on hards, but that was silly to go around the outside of a car that has no grip.
Yeah, and look at this. There goes Ivan Sant. Oh my god.
Whoa.
Again, almost taking out another driver. But everybody is heading round. And Enzo Sabatin's championship is going to start to disappear.
Does it matter at this point? Does it matter? He has to survive the rest of this lap and 1 more lap, and he can call it a day. The question is, what points will he get off it?
I do agree. I do have to agree with you there, to be honest. But now he's got Ryan Grob next, then Nail Zhu. So he could even go down to P8 by the end of this race because of the amount of seconds he's losing to the 2 cars in front. He won't get ahead of them based off of penalties.
Yeah. It's
So
sad
he's
to
really
see.
thrown it away. He's really thrown
Yeah,
it away.
it
Look
is
at Ryan
sad to
Grob. There
see.
goes Ryan Grob. 3 seconds in 2 corners. Absolutely crazy.
I don't think anyone predicted this rain.
No.
Nobody did. It was already a crazy race in itself, and then just to add that little bit of spice, we see the final bit of rain to top it all off, like a flambe. But we have to look ahead. We have to look at Boba, who has been fighting tooth and nail within the top 5. There was never an easy moment for him. He has been tussling with Oliver Knott, Tumas Laminen, Ryan Grob. He's even fighting with Diaz when he was up the front. Every second, he could not rest. But finally, he can. For the last few laps, he is able to drive a circuit. Not necessarily in the conditions he wanted it in, but in the mindset of a driver 1.3 seconds behind him, a safety net that he can work with. Boba will secure victory here.
And look at Enzo Sabatin. He's going to finish outside of the points. And that's his day done. But Boba, with 2 corners left to go, running it really close and up to the line there. But coming up to the line, Boba will win in Austria, round number 7 of WRPC Tier 3. And I've got to say, it is a win and a half for Boba. He's made all the right strategy calls. And Ivan Santmaria finishes on the podium alongside Oliver Knott. Ryan Grob gets up to P5 in the end. Tumas Laminen finishes 4th. Oscar Villacampa with a very, very surprising day from the Sauber. In the end, you can see the rest of the top 10. Claudio Diaz, I've got to say, with an unlucky day, but Enzo Sabatin won't finish last. But he's in
Are
the
you
war.
sure about that?
He's gonna
Are you
finish
sure?
13th. And that is that. And I've got to say, the day is done. And in the end, how does that actually change the championship? Does that mean Boba leads? I think so.
Yes, he does. He's 23 points behind. WR uses traditional race point systems. So, yes, he will lead by 2 points.
I've got to say, there's one driver.
Actually, oh, no. No, yes, he will. Sorry.
Yes, he will. He will.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, one driver is going to have an incredibly disappointing night to think back over is Ryan Grob. Had it all and lost it all.
Yeah, that is... It's unfortunate, but it is one of those. It is what it is. You have to bite your tongue amongst it, and yeah, it's annoying for Grob.
Yeah. So let's go.
So annoying.
Let's go through the grid order before it disappears. Tumas Laminen wins from 5th on the grid, followed by Oliver Knott, Ivan Santamaria, and a brilliant drive from Tumas Laminen from last to 4th on the grid. Ryan Grob finishes 5th with Oscar Villacampa in 6th, Nail Zhu in 7th, Bennett Hayder in 8th, Lucas SL in 9th, Claudio in 10th, Kevin in 11th, Tristan Janssen in 12th, Enzo Sebastian 13th, and in last, Jonas Opel with the retirements being Dark Zaneas, Jans Vidilic, George Ansel, and Tom Wolfgram.
I tell you what, the stewards room is going to be very busy. A lot of push to pass situations. So, and we're not talking the IndyCar push to pass button. We are referring to bumping into somebody, pushing them aside, and then passing them, which is not allowed in WOR. As I learned the hard way, as I was given numerous penalties for. I call it clean racing in my eyes, you know. Touring car
in
rules.
your eyes, yeah. Sure.
Touring car rules, come on. British touring car.
NASCAR. That's the rules you base it off of. It's NASCAR, just bumping each other.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyways, remember, I'm one of the few people who got a full blown tourney ban, so I am fully aware of the rule book. Anyways. Don't give me the interesting. That's a story in itself. Nonetheless.
I'm just going to say that for the rest of tonight's stream. Interesting.
Yeah, nonetheless, the steward room is going to be very busy. There's going to be a lot of debates, of course. So we've got Bennett Hatter is definitely going to have a few conversations with Jan, as Jan got taken out so early. But there is a little bit of karma that came from it, as also... We're going to see Jan have major conversations with Jonas Orpel as well. So it's going to be a three-way chat, which is going to end up being Jonas wanting more to be done, but the most is going to happen as a quali ban, and then possibly probably a 10-second time penalty and more within the race later on for the steward's room. And I do not want to be a steward at this time because that sounds busy.
Yeah. We'll wait to see if anyone wants an interview. It's very rarely, I will say very rarely in Tier 3, people actually want to do interviews. As I'm just getting ignored by absolutely everyone, which is just fun. But we'll wait to see whether these guys decide they want to have some interviews or they just don't care. Most likely don't care.
They don't care. Okay, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, so... with that, that is everything for today. But before we go, who is your driver of the day?
Ooh, good question. You know what? I think I have to give it to Ryan Grob. I think there was a lot of consistency for it. It's unfortunate for his last-minute strategy call.
You know what?
Whether that's on it, whether that's on him or ET8 speaking to his ear, saying, "Hey, do it." I think his driving has been on point throughout today, so I'm gonna give it to Ryan Grob in my eyes.
I'm gonna say something else. I'm gonna say Tumas Laminen, and I'm gonna give you the reason why. 18th to 4th.
Yeah,
that's all the reason.
I can back that. I can back that as well. It's a qualifying ban to going and putting it onto the podium. You have to applaud it.
Yeah. So with that, that is everything for tonight. Thank you to everyone for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe here, of course, on WR. Make sure to also click on that notification bell to know about all of the streams we do, because I can't even count how many. We have that many. So if you guys love racing, just click on the notification bell. It would be that easy. Also, make sure to go and follow us above, as you can see, on TikTok at World Online Racing F1 and on X or Twitter. Don't scream at me either way. At WR League, where you get to see us and you get more notifications and more information about all the racing we do here at WOR. Also, big thanks to our sponsors, Next Level Racing and Grid Finder. Final big thanks to, of course, the drivers and everybody here at WR. I'm saving a very special thank you for you, Hyperactive, for joining me and my Calamity streams. And my Calamity commentating. Have you got any final words to the evening or hopefully for the rest of the season? And your mic just dies.
I think it picked up as background noise at the end of the day. My mic's that advanced. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If this is a type of race you definitely need to go and rewatch and re-devour all the chaos.
Re-devour.
100%. This is like a fine...
This is like a gourmet food.
Yeah, gourmet, Michelin, 2 Michelin star meal that you have to savor and re-eat because it was fabulous.
I mean, Michelin and Michelin are very different. Michelin, it means that my food's getting cooked by the tire guy, but all right.
It is actually Michelin.
Sure.
It's Michelin. Michelin made those books. It's Michelin star.
Sure.
It is. Google it. Michelin created. A food guide. Michelin created a food guide for all of its tourists for people to stop at, and then it became a trend that Michelin would become the official ranking of restaurants.
And with that, everybody, you can see what I deal with on a weekly basis. So, with the end of tonight's stream, thank you all for watching, and we will see you once again next week. Just having one last little look at the calendar, we'll be going to Bahrain, I think, but that's set to be changed, I do believe. I don't think we are actually at Bahrain next week. It will be Zandvoort, most likely, for next week, but it will be confirmed very shortly, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. But with all of that wrapped up... No. So, with that, thank you to all for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.